Okay, we are in scene 3 of the drama The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. Legend on a screen after fiasco. Fiasco means failure. Now, whose failure is this? Laura's failure to empower herself as a typewriter. Isn't it? Okay. So, we'll continue. Mark will read us the drama.
Legend on screen, after the fiasco. Tom speaks from the fire escape landing. Tom, after the fiasco at Rubicum's Business College, the idea of getting a gentleman caller for Laura began to play a more and more important part in Mother's calculations. It became...
So here, you have to remember the name Rubicum's Business College, and the idea of getting a gentleman caller arouses the theme of marriage and female dependence, and mother's calculations means mother's thoughts. Okay.
became an obsession. Like some archetype of the universal unconscious, the image of the gentleman caller haunted our small apartment. Image, young man at door with flowers. An evening at home rarely passed without some allusion to this image, this specter, this hope. Even when he wasn't mentioned, his presence hung in Mother's preoccupied look and in my sister's frightened, apologetic manner, hung like a sentence passed upon the wingfields. Mother was a woman of action as well as words.
Okay, so the dreams of empowerment Laura was gone and it's no longer there. So the next way of securing her life is marrying her to a gentleman caller, right? Mother was a woman of action as well as words. So it highlights the character of Amanda, isn't it? She began to take the logical steps in the planned direction. So this highlights the characteristics of Amanda as a very responsible and practical woman, isn't it? And this appreciation is by narrator, right? Not by Tom's character. Okay, it was not mentioned that Tommy is admiring her mother or not, but however, this is from the persona of Tom in the appearance of narrator, right? In the sense, now this is a flashback, a memory play. So it's the narrator who flashbacks to the past and says this. So we can say that he has realized the practical nature of mother, isn't it? But when he was Tom, who was not escaped, නේද? යා escape කරන්න කලින් Tom නම් එහෙම හිතුවේ නැහැ. හැබැයි දැන් මෙයා escape කරලා maybe he has realized නේද? So but there was no clues to say that, right? Okay, however, character of Amanda is defined through that.
She began to take logical steps in the planned direction. Late that winter and in the early spring, realizing that extra money would be needed to properly feather the nest and plume the bird, she conducted a vigorous campaign on the telephone, roping in subscribers to one of those magazines for matrons called the Homemaker's Companion, the type of journal that features the serialized sublimations of ladies of letters who think in terms of delicate cup-like breasts, slim, tapering waists, rich, creamy thighs, eyes like wood smoke in autumn, fingers that soothe and caress like strains of music, bodies as powerful as Etruscan sculpture. Screen image, Glamour magazine cover.
Okay, so this is the way of Amanda earning money, and this extract, right? The type of journal that features that part up to the end of the paragraph highlights the typical conventional European women's beauty standards, isn't it? And the thing is, now see, it's very clearly mentioned that delicate cup-like breast, slim tapering waist, rich creamy thighs, eye like wood smoke in autumn, nether fingers like that soothe, so visual imagery, and these are very important extracts for context especially. isn't it? Yes, so there are only very few things to explain there. Continue.
Cover. Amanda enters with phone on long extension cord. She is spotted in the dim state. Amanda, Ida Scott. This is Amanda Wingfield. We missed you at the DAR last Monday. I said to myself, she's probably suffering with that sinus condition. How is that sinus condition? Horrors. Heaven have mercy, you're a Christian martyr. Yes, that's what you are, a Christian martyr. Well, I just have happened to notice that your subscription to the companion's about to expire. Yes, it expires with the next issue, honey, just when that wonderful new serial by Bessie May Hopper is getting off to such an exciting start. Oh, honey, it's something that you can't miss. You remember how Gone with the Wind took everybody by storm? You simply
Now here, Gone with the Wind is an idiom, right? Spread. Can you remember how the previous magazine was a spread? That's what she meant, right? Gone with the Wind. And see her effort to sell these copies of magazine to people, isn't it? Because it's a job.
simply couldn't go out if you hadn't read it. All everybody talked was Scarlett O'Hara. Well, this is a book that critics already compare to Gone with the Wind. It's the Gone with the Wind of the post-World War generation. What? Burning? Oh, honey, don't let them bum. Go take a look in the oven and I'll hold the wire. Heavens, I think she's hung up. Dim out. Legend on screen, you think I'm in love with continental shoemakers. Before the stage is lighted, the violent voices of Tom and Amanda are heard. They are quarreling behind the portieres.
Now, before that, the previous paragraph highlights the marketing efforts of Amanda and the vigorous efforts of her, isn't it, to earn some money to help the family. And now her effort is to earn some extra money, isn't it, for the marriage of Laura and for the daily purposes, isn't it? And the Scarlett O'Hara was an allusion, and it describes of a person who was gone with the wind, right? In a romantic film. Okay. Yes.
Portieres. In front of them stands Laura with clenched hands and panicky expression. A clear pool of light on her figure throughout this scene. Tom, what in Christ's name am? Amanda Shirley, don't you use that. Tom, supposed to do. Amanda, expression, not in my, Tom, oh. Amanda, presence. Have you gone out of your senses? Tom, I have, that's true, driven out. Amanda, what is the matter with you, you, big idiot? Tom, look, I've got no thing, no single thing. Amanda, lower your voice. Tom, in my life here that I can call my own. Everything is. Amanda, stop that shouting. Tom, yesterday you confiscated my books. You had the nerve to. Amanda, I took that.
Okay, so here, what does this hot conversation, hot argument convince us? Now, Tom's language is very disrespectful, disappointed, accusing towards his mother, and Amanda is also very disappointed, depressed, and what they are speaking of, isn't it, about a book? Yesterday you confiscated නේද රාජසන්තක කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ forcefully take away කියන එක. My books, you had nerve to. Okay, Amanda, I took that horrible novel back to the library. Yours, that hideous book by that insane Mr. Lawrence. So, Mr. Lawrence means, in full name, he was David Herbert Lawrence, a writer who wrote about sexuality, emotional health, and those are the basic contents that was included in his books, and especially it was exposed to the truth of instincts, right? So not only that, when we take Thomas Hardy, and also he was also a critic of religion and culture, but he controlled it. But when we consider about Mr. Lawrence, he had a very frank and open consideration about those matters, right? So here the dramatist mentioned in his book brought out a criticism against the person by society. It is highlighted through the Amanda's attitude towards that book. Okay. Tom laughs wildly. I cannot control the output of diseased minds or people who cater them. Tom laughs still more wildly. But I won't allow such filth brought into my house. No, no, no. Now see the family burdens, isn't it? House, who pays rent on it, who makes a slave himself to it. Right, so this highlights how, okay, we can say that Tom has also taken efforts to play the role of breadwinner, isn't it? He has taken responsibilities, family burdens, but those are very unfair for him because he was a young child who seeks for freedom, isn't it? And these youth represented by Tom seeks for independence, and but these conditions make him and forced him to take all the duties and other duties of mother and sister as well, isn't it? So those are somewhat unfair for a child to bear, isn't it, for even though a young person. However, in that case, we can say that Amanda is a typically interrupting mother who unnecessarily interferes into the lives of children, isn't it? Now here, okay, it was believed that Tom came, okay. However, these things are there. We'll discuss about the other matters later on at the whole book novel. So, okay.
Horrible novel. Back to the library. Yes. That hideous book by that insane Mr. Lawrence. Tom laughs wildly. I cannot control the output of diseased minds or people who cater to them. Tom laughs still more wildly. But I won't allow such filth brought into my house. No, 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 no. Tom, house. Who pays rent on it? Who makes a slave of himself to? Amanda fairly screeching. Don't you dare to. Tom, no, I mustn't say things. I've got to just. Amanda, let me tell you, Tom, I don't want to hear any more. He tears the portieres open. The upstage area is lit with a turgid smoky red glow. Amanda's hair is in metal curlers and she wears a very old bathrobe much too large for her slight figure, a relic of the faithless Mr. Wingfield. An upright typewriter and a wild disarray of manuscripts are on the drop-leaf table. The quarrel was probably precipitated by his creative labor. A chair lying overthrown on the floor. Their gesticulating shadows are cast on the ceiling by the fiery glow. Amanda, you will hear more. You, Tom, no, I want to hear more. I'm going out. Amanda, you come right back in. Tom, out. Because I'm a Amanda. Come back here, Tom Wingfield. I'm not through talking to you. Tom, oh, go. Laura desperately, Tom. Amanda, you're going to listen, and no more insolence from you. I'm at the end of my patience. He comes back toward her. Tom, what do you think I'm at? Aren't I supposed to have any patience to reach the end of, mother? I know. It seems unimportant to you, what I'm doing, what I want to do, having a little difference between them. You don't think that?
Okay, so see the hot argument between Amanda and Tom, and all these discussions about freedom, allowing to bring books and everything are related with individual needs, isn't it? So Amanda actually unnecessarily interferes. It is shown from the very beginning, and she should mind that he was not at all a young boy neither. Yeah, he's a breadwinner, he has responsibilities, he earns, but still she cares about him as a child and interferes in everything of his life, isn't it? Okay, so these are unnecessary restrictions. And when Tom speaks that about his individuality, about his freedom to have to do what he want, highlights the nature, isn't it? And actually the nature of the restrictions that Amanda put upon his life, and those are in his viewpoint. The life of him was that sort of a troubling thing, isn't it, with Amanda, fed up. Okay, so I'm doing what I want to do, having a little difference between them. You don't think that. Now a very angry tone and see the poses නේද? යා චුට්ටක් කියලා නවත්තන. මොකද Amanda එයාට full කියන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. නේද? Not allowed to finish the whole utterance. She interrupts again. Okay, then Amanda says, yes. Oh, so before that, we can see here the contrast of what Tommy is doing and what he wants to do. Isn't it? Okay.
Amanda, I think you've been doing things that you're ashamed of. That's why you act like this. I don't believe that you go every night to the movies. Nobody goes to the movies night after night. Nobody in their right mind goes to the movies as often as you pretend to. People.
Okay, now here, this is a very logical advice, isn't it? And the thing is, it sounds unnatural because he stay away from home and families as much as possible because he reject the life with Amanda especially, and also this his personal circumstances of life, isn't it? So that he always try his best to escape going to movies and everywhere. Right, so okay, so there's a small suggestion of homosexuality, but however, it's not confirmed, right? So that book of Lawrence are also supportive to that. Some critics say that and some do not. So, but you should not, I think, mention it because it's not that much highlighted in the drama, isn't it? Okay. Then nobody goes to movies not night after night as they are pretending to. Okay.
People don't go to the movies at nearly midnight, and movies don't let out at 2 a.m. come in stumbling, muttering to yourself like a maniac. You get 3 hours sleep and then go to work. Oh, I can picture the way you're doing down there. Moping, doping, because you're in no condition. Tom wildly, no, I'm in no condition. Amanda, what right have you got to jeopardize your job, jeopardize the security of us all? How do you think we'd manage if you were?
Now see the unfair question by Amanda, isn't it? What right you have to jeopardize means to destroy your job. In social point of view, Tommy is wrong, and individual point of view, he is correct because he also has needs and desires, isn't it? But Amanda's tone is somewhat accusing, isn't it? I find it unfair. I don't know how we are going to analyze it. Right? What right you have? How do you think we'd manage if you were? Then the next part of Tom's dialogue, the conversation highlights how much he disliked mother, the unhappiness he received and he feels through the life of him at the home, and the depressed, angry, rude behavior also similarly highlighted through that. Let's read it first.
Were. Tom, listen, you think I'm crazy about the warehouse? He bonds fiercely toward her slight figure. You think I'm in love with the Continental shoemakers? You think I want to spend 5 years down there in that Celotex interior with fluorescent tubes? Look, I'd rather somebody picked up a crowbar and battered out my brains than go back mornings. I go every time you come in yelling that goddamn rise and shine. Rise and shine. I say to myself, how lucky dead people are. But I get up. I go. For $65 a month I give up all that I dream of doing and being ever. And you say self. Self's all I ever think of. Why, listen, if self is what I thought of, mother, I'd be where he is G0NE. Pointing to father's picture. As far as the system of transportation reaches. He starts past her. She grabs his arm. Don't grab at me, mother. Amanda.
Okay, so here this highlights the sacrifications of Tom. Isn't it? I gave up all that I dream of doing and being ever. So this is the climax of the conflict, and actually the readership is fallen on and controversy, because we are actually in a very difficult condition to judge whether Amanda or Tom is correct, isn't it? Because there are unfair accusations by Amanda, and also there are unfair accusations to Amanda. The behavior he leads on with the mother is also not good. So that is the controversy, right? Then highlights the low wages, $65 a month. Highlight the low wages and poor work conditions as we adjusted in 20th century earlier. Okay, those people had to adjust themselves for that small wage, otherwise they have none. Okay, so the sanctification is the basic point that is highlighted there. Then where are you going?
Amanda, where are you going? Tom, I'm going to the movies. Amanda, I don't believe that lie. Tom crouching toward her, overtowering her tiny figure. She backs away, gasping, I'm going to opium dens. Yes, opium dens.
Opium dance means drunkards, right? So this is a sarcastic exaggeration by Tom, right, in order to make Amanda more and more angry. Okay, however, this going to movies is related with the theme of escapism and the trust, lack of trust, faith of Amanda. නේද? එයා trust කරන්නේ නැහැ Tomව. එතන trustworthiness කියන එක ගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාලට if you are going to write context answers from this. Yes, continue.
Dens of vice and criminals hangouts, mother. I've joined the Hogan gang. I'm a hired assassin. I carry a Tommy gun in a violin case.
Assassin means a killer, right? I'm a killer. I carry a Tommy gun in a violin case. I run a string of cat houses.
Case. I run a string of cat houses in the valley. They call me Killer Wingfield. I'm leading a double life, a simple, honest warehouse worker by day, by night a dynamic tsar of the underworld, mother. I go to gambling casinos, I spin away fortunes on the roulette table. I wear a patch over one eye and a false mustache, sometimes I put on green whiskers. On those occasions they call me El Diablo. Oh, I could tell you things to make you sleepless. My enemies plan to dynamite this place. They're going to blow us all sky high some night. I'll be glad, very happy, and so will you. You'll go up on a broomstick, over Blue Mountain with 17 gentlemen callers. You ugly, babbling old witch.
Now see that accusation on mother. That's not fair, right? I don't agree with that. Now all over the scene we can see the conflicts between Tom and Amanda, and finally it's Laura who get affected by these because she depends on both of them, isn't it? And Tom addressing mother as old, ugly, babbling witch is actually not fair. Rude, Ned.
Witch. He goes through a series of violent, clumsy movements, seizing his overcoat, lunging to do door, pulling it fiercely open. The women watch him, aghast. His arm catches in the sleeve of the coat as he struggles to pull it on. For a moment he is penny-wonned by the bulky garment. With an outraged groan he tears the coat of again, splitting the shoulder of it, and hurls it across the room. It strikes against the shelf of Laura's glass collection. There is a tinkle of shattering glass. Laura cries out as if wounded.
Now see, what I said, isn't it? What I said was actually from these accusations, from these hot arguments between Amanda and Tom, results a great impact upon Laura, isn't it? So that is metaphorically highlighted through this glass which falls down, isn't it? So this Laura, who depends on both of them economically and for security wise, get impactful because of this, right? And see her expression. Laura cries out as if wounded, as she was injured. So the bond with those are also highlighted with that.
Wounded. Music. Legend, The Glass Menagerie. Laura Shirley, my glass. Menagerie. She covers her face and turns away. But Amanda is still stunned and stupefied by the ugly witch so that she barely notices this occurrence. Now she recovers her speech. Amanda in an awful voice, I won't speak to you, until you apologize. She crosses through portiers and draws them together behind her. Tom is left with Laura. Laura clings weakly to the mantel with her face averted. Tom stares at her stupidly for a moment. Then he crosses to shelf. Drops awkwardly on his knees to collect the fallen glass, glancing at Laura as if he would speak but couldn't. The Glass Menagerie steals Inez. The scene dims out.
Okay, so that is the end of scene 3, and at the very end we can see the act of guilt of Tom නේද ටිකක් guilty වෙනවා. එතකොට in this scene the theme of individuality are very well highlighted, because the other thing is actually the traditional thinking pattern and everything of Amanda are also highlighted. Laura's dependence, and this foreshadows how much she is going to affect by this these sort of arguments and separation of both Amanda and Tom නේද. then separate වෙනවා කියන්නේ Laura මැදක she becomes the victim of their hot arguments and their mishaps, right? So that is the end of scene 3. Then we can start scene 4. Yes.
Interior is dark. Faint light in the alley. A deep-voiced bell in a church is tolling the hour of 5 as the scene commences. Tom appears at the top of the alley. After each solemn boom of the bell in the tower, he shakes a little noisemaker or rattle as if to express the tiny spasm of man in contrast to the sustained power and dignity of the Almighty. This and the unsteadiness of his advance make it evident that he has been drinking. As he climbs few steps to the fire escape landing, light steals up inside. Laura appears in night dress observing Tom's empty bed in the front room. Tom fishes in his pockets for door key, removing a motley assortment of articles in the search, including a perfect shower of movie ticket stubs and an empty bottle. At last he finds the key, but just as he is
Okay, so here it was proved that he has been drunken and in the early morning නේද අරයා dress එකෙන් ඉන්නවා කියන්නේ Laura in her night dress, and the other thing is including a shower of movie ticket stubs, folds, and an empty bottle. So it proves that he is not lying, isn't it? So he has been on to movies during night as well.
Is about to insert it, it slips from his fingers. He strikes a match and crouches below the door. Tom bitterly : one crack and it falls through. Laura opens the door. Laura, Tom. Tom, what are you doing? Tom, looking for a door key. Laura, where have you been all this time? Tom, I have been to the movies. Laura, all this time at the movies? To him, there was a very long program. There was a Garbo picture and a Mickey Mouse and a travelogue and a newsreel and a preview of coming attractions. And there was an organ solo and a collection for the Milk Fund, simultaneously, which ended up in a terrible fight between a fat lady and an usher. Laura innocently, did you have to stay through everything? Tom, of course. And, oh, I forgot. There was a big stage show. The headliner on this stage show was Malvolio the magician. He performed wonderful tricks, many of them, such as pouring water back and forth between pitchers. First it turned to wine, and then it turned to beer, and then it turned to whiskey. I knew it was whiskey it finally turned into because he needed somebody to come up out of the audience to help him, and I came up, both shows. It was Kentucky straight bourbon. A very generous fellow, he gave souvenirs. He pulls from his back pocket a shimmering rainbow-colored scarf. He gave me this. This is his magic scarf. You can have it, Laura. You wave it over a canary cage and you get a bowl of goldfish. You wave it over the goldfish bowl and they fly away canaries. But the wonderfulest trick of all was the coffin trick. We nailed him into a coffin and he got out of the coffin without removing one nail. He has come inside. There is a trick that would come in handy for me. Get me out of this 2x4 situation. Flops onto a bed and starts removing shoes. Laura, Tom, SHHH.
Okay, SHHH, not that. Okay. Then the last part of this one. So this paragraph is really important to write a context, right? So there are lots of techniques, including metaphors. Okay. A theme of escapism, illusion, temporary engagements, and everything. But I find the last part, the coffin trick, as a metaphor, because here Tom compares this coffin trick into his life, and coming out of the coffin without removing one nail. Now, who are the nails? Neither. Manadame nails. Laura, Amanda, his family obligations, these are the nails. So he is inside the coffin and those nails has locked up in the coffin. So he tries to implace නේද එයා වෙනුවට තව කෙනෙක් එතන තියලා එළියට එන්න හදන්නේ so that they won't feel any difference. So who is this person who is going to replace gentleman caller, isn't it? So that's his trick. Now this 2x4 situation is the terrible situation of his life, and he has come inside. So all these things highlight that the life of Tom, isn't it? He actually disliked to be at home because it found by him as something very disgusting, isn't it? Very actually he does not like that life in home. Okay, Tom, what are you shushing for me? Right, you'll wake up mother.
SHHH. To M, what are you shushing me for? Laura, you'll wake up mother. Tom, goody, goody. Pay, are back for all those, rise and shines. Lies down, groaning. You know it don't take much intelligence to get yourself into a nailed up coffin, Laura. But who in hell ever got himself out of one without removing one nail? As if in answer, the father's grinning photograph lights up. Scene dims out.
Okay, now this light up of father's grinning photograph is foreshadowing, and the attention is drawn towards the photo of father who escaped without even caring or worrying about what would happen to the lives of other three who was completely dependent of his career, isn't it? So the nails of the coffin are bonds, duties, responsibilities, isn't it? So we can adjust this, we can speak of this in two viewpoints. One is that Tom's effort to escape from the present circumstances, isn't it? So he disliked the present life, and without caring about that, he finds his desires, his individual desires, wishes, hopes, aims the most important, and leaves others alone, like his duties and everything alone at home, and he is going to search for his own desires and fulfillments of them. In the other hand, this finding the coffin trick more effective highlights that his dislike to hurt especially Laura and then Amanda. He does not like to hurt, so that's why he is going to implace someone, because he knows that if he is not there, they would fail, an utter failure of financial stability. So he is going to implace a gentleman caller for Laura, and then to give all the responsibilities and his duties to that, to resign all of them to that Niver, and then leave the place, so that there won't any influence of his retrial, isn't it? So in that case, we can analyze his character as someone who cares about the family, and someone who does not like to make others feel unhappy නේද? එයා ඒකට solution එකක් විදිහට තමයි ඒක ගන්නෙ. ඊළඟට this phrase rise and shine is a summary of Amanda's hopes, isn't it? So in one hand, it's her escapism, because and it's very ironical, because these children won't shine even though they rise, isn't it? So it's sarcastic in that hand. However, her expression of that thing highlights her hopes and objectives regarding the children. Okay.
Dims out. Immediately following, the church bell is heard striking 6. At the 6th stroke the alarm clock goes off in Amanda's room, and after a few moments we hear her calling rise and shine. Rise and shine. Laura, go tell your brother to rise and shine. Tom sitting up slowly, I'll rise but I won't shine, the light increases. Amanda, Laura, tell your brother his coffee is ready. Laura slips into front room. Laura, Tom, it's nearly 7. Don't make mother nervous. He stares at her stupidly. Beseechingly. Tom, speak to mother this morning. Make up with her, apologize, speak to her. Tom.
Now here it's very clearly convinced how Laura becomes the intermediator නේද Tom Amanda කෙනා කියන්නේ Tomට එයාගේ නේද අර කියන්නේ මැද Laura තියලා Lauraට කතා කරනවා වගේ Tomට refer කරන indirectly නේද එතකොට intermediator වෙන්නේ Laura. So from everything Laura is the person who is going to victimize නේද Okay.
Tom, she won't to me. It's her that started not speaking. Laura, if you just say you're sorry she'll start speaking. Tom, her not speaking, is that such a tragedy? Laura.
Now see the tone of Tom neither. Her not speaking, is that such a tragedy? So this reveals that he has no any attachment to find it as a bad thing නේද mother කතා කරන්නේ නැති එක යාට නිකන් එහෙම ලොකු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි කියලා නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ නේද so the lack of attachments නේද family bonds are highlighted through this statement. And Laura trying to link these two Amanda and Tom together highlights the intermediator qualities of her නේද එයා කැමති නැහැ මෙතන තරහ වෙලා ඉන්නවට. That's it. In that case you can analyze her character as well.
Laura, please, please. Amanda calling from kitchenette. Laura, are you going to do what I asked you to do, or do I have to get dressed and go out myself? Laura, going, soon as I get on my coat. She pulls on a shapeless felt hat with nervous, jerky movement, pleadingly glancing at Tom. Rushes awkwardly for coat. The coat is one of Amanda's, inaccurately made over the sleeves too short for Laura. Butter and what else? Amanda centering up.
Now here the dress of Laura. She rushes awkwardly for her coat. The coat is one of Amanda's, inaccurately made over the sleeves not short for Laura. So it highlights their social condition and poverty, isn't it?
Centering up stage. Just butter. Tell them to charge it. Laura, mother, they make such faces when I do that. Amanda, sticks and stones can break our bones, but the expression on Mr. Garfinkel's face won't harm us. Tell her his coffee is getting cold.
Okay, so once again the portrayal of their family as a poor family the credit taking ගන්න කියලානේ කියන්නේ usual thing to buy credits, right? So they have no money, that is also highlighted. Then Mr. Garfinkel's, I don't know how to pronounce that, right? Okay, this represents the reality, isn't it? This person not talking the son still, she is annoyed, I mean Amanda is annoyed still, and Laura is playing the role of the mediator.
Cold. Laura at door. Do what I asked you, will you, Tom? He looks sullenly away. Amanda, Laura, go now or just don't go at all. Laura rushing out, going. A second later she cries out. Tom springs up and crosses to door. Amanda rushes anxiously in. Tom opens the door. Tom, Laura? Laura, I'm all right. I slipped, but I'm all right. Amanda peering anxiously after her.
Now here, the accident නේද මෙයා මේ වැටෙන එක අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් metaphorically. This highlights Laura's inability to escape from the family environment, isn't it? So what Tom was Actually, he wants to escape, but Laura is extremely attached to the family, and she cannot escape from that environment. So that is highlighted because when she tries to go out of the fire escape, it doesn't allow, isn't it? So her inability and the attachment is highlighted with that. Yes, now see, Tom and Amanda both comes to seek for Laura, highlights the common responsibilities they have each other, right? So, both are annoying, දෙන්නම දැන් තරහ වෙලා ඉන්නේ, they are become one, නේද? දෙන්නම එක්කෙනෙක් වෙනවා when it comes to Laura's circumstances. So, that's what highlighted there.
If anyone breaks a leg on those fire escape steps, the landlord ought to be sued for every cent he possesses. She shuts door. Remembers she isn't speaking and returns to other room. As Tom enters listlessly for his coffee, she turns her back to him and stands rigidly facing the window on the gloomy gray vault of the areaway. Its light on her face with its aged but childish features is cruelly sharp, satirical as a Daumier print. Music under, Ave Maria. Tom glances sheepishly but sullenly at her averted figure and slumps at the table. The coffee is scalding hot. He sips it and gasps and spits it back in the cup. At his gasp, Amanda catches her breath and half turns. Then catches herself and turns back to window. Tom blows on his coffee, glancing sidewise at his mother. She clears her throat. Tom clears his. He starts to rise. Sinks back down again, scratches his head, clears his throat again. Amanda coughs. Tom raises his cup in both hands to blow on it, his eyes staring over the rim of it at his mother for several moments. Then he slowly sets the cup down and awkwardly and hesitantly rises from the chair. Tom hoarsely, "Mother. I apologize, Mother." Amanda draws a quick, shuddering breath. Her face works grotesquely. She breaks into childlike tears. "I'm sorry for what I said, for everything that I said, I didn't mean it." Amanda sobbingly, "My devotion has made me a witch and so I make myself hateful to my children."
Okay, so we can analyze that as well, the tragedy, isn't it? Because her commitments that she made is valuable as a single mother because she had a solitary battle when look after these children. So her commitments, very unfortunately, appears to the children as something to be very sad, and they found her as a very nagging character, isn't it? No, you don't. See the rude, uncivilized, and unusual and ungrateful, isn't it, behavior of Tom. He behaves not as a child. No any sorrow, guilty, shyness to speak to mother, calling her in that way, isn't it? Disrespect also there. However, sorrow of Amanda is justifiable because she sacrificed all her life on behalf of these children, and being blamed by them is such a suffering, such a hard thing for a mother to bear, isn't it? Okay, so that is also highlighted.
Tom, no, you don't. Amanda, I worry so much, don't sleep, it makes me nervous. Tom gently, I understand that. Amanda, I've had to put up a solitary battle all these years. But you're my right-hand bower. Don't fall down, don't fail. Tom gently, I try, Mother. Amanda with great enthusiasm.
Now see the expectations of a mother. I've had to put up a solitary battle all these years, but you're my right hand bowler, the supporter, the person whom I really loved, the most lovers. Don't fall down, don't fail. See how she is good in mind. The genuine feelings of a mother, even though she is angry and so disgusted, still she wishes for the good and prosperity for the children.
Enthusiasm, try and you will succeed. The notion makes her breathless. Why, you're just full of natural endowments. Both of my children, they're unusual children. Don't you think I know it? I'm so proud. Happy and, feel I've so much to be thankful for, but promise me one thing. son. Tom,
Right. So here it highlights the uh, escapism of Amanda in one hand, because she says both my children, they are unusual children. So this highlights the instinctive love in one hand also. In the other hand, this is somewhat exaggerative of her children and optimistic thinking, isn't it? Very positive thinking despite of worrying. Then from what mother? Yes, continue.
Tom, what, mother? Amanda, promise, son, you'll never be a drunkard. Tom turns to her grinning. I will never be a drunkard, mother. Amanda, that's what frightened me so, that you'd be drinking. Eat a bowl of Purina. Tom, just coffee, mother. Amanda, shredded wheat biscuit? Tom, no. No, mother, just coffee. Amanda, you can't put in a day's work on an empty stomach. You've got 10 minutes, don't gulp. Drinking too hot liquids makes cancer of the stomach. Put cream in. Tom.
Now see her once again, her scientific explanations comes out, and okay, it shows her love towards Tom, isn't it? And see the inability of Tom to understand the love of mother, isn't it? So she's caring and showing her love towards Tom, but still Tom does not accept it, and what he does is he rejects the love of Amanda. No, thank you. Neither. So we can see the weak bond between Tom and Amanda, with not a very strong relationship, isn't it? So their relationship long lasted because of Laura's connection, isn't it?
Tom, no, thank you. Amanda, to cool it. Tom. No. No, thank you, I want it black. Amanda, I know, but it's not good for you. We have to do all that we can to build ourselves up. In these trying times we live in, all that we have to cling to is each other. That's why it's so important to, Tom. I sent out your sister so I could discuss something with you. If you hadn't spoken, I would have spoken to you. Sits down. Tom gently, what is it, mother, that you want to discuss? Amanda, Laura. Tom puts his cup down slowly. Legend on screen, Laura. Music, the Glass Menagerie, Tom, oh. Laura. Amanda touching his sleeve. You know how Laura is. So quiet, but still water runs deep. She notices things and I think she broods about them. Tom looks up. A few days ago I came in and she was crying. Tom, what about? Amanda, you. Tom, me? Amanda, she has an idea that you're not happy here. Tom, what gave her that idea? Amanda, what gives her any idea? However, you do act strangely. I'm not criticizing, understand that. I know your ambitions do not lie in the warehouse, that like everybody in the whole wide world, you've had to make sacrifices, but, Tom, life's not easy, it calls for Spartan endurance. There's so many things in my heart that I cannot describe to you. I've never told you, but I loved your father. Tom gently, I know that, mother.
Okay, so here there is an idiom in the previous page, page 28. Still water runs deep is an idiom, and this highlights here Laura is compared to the water. Thamath quietly, that's water. And then that last expression, Amanda, what gives her an idea? However, you do act strangely. I'm not criticizing. Understand that. I know your ambitions do not lie on warehouse that like everybody in whole wide world. Isn't it? So here this highlights the sad life conditions of all the youth in America. Isn't it? No need to take depression for things that we can't change. That's what she says, isn't it? So actually in a structural way, all are common conditions, all are experiencing the same conditions, right? And see the awareness of Amanda, that she says, I know that you are not happy here, but what else to do? That's what she says, isn't it? I know that, mother, And you, when I see you talking after his face staying, okay. Then lack of understanding between the two, especially Tom does not understand Amanda. That's where he fails, isn't it? And he misinterprets the love, the happiness, and the expectations of mother, isn't it? Okay. Then this last line, I loved your father, highlights the nostalgic, painful memories, isn't it? And she had never told it, but here she tells it, isn't it? Highlighting the sacrifices that she has done, isn't it? And the turning point of her life in a very sad manner.
Mother. Amanda, and you, when I see you taking after his ways. Staying out late, and, well, you had been drinking the night you were in that terrifying condition. Laura says that you hate the apartment and that you go out nights to get away from it. Is that true, Tom? Tom, no. You say there's so much in your heart that you can't describe to me. That's true of me, too. There's so much in my heart that I can't describe to you. So let's respect each other's, Amanda, but, why, Tom, am you always so restless? Where do you go to, nights? Tom, I go to the movies. Amanda, why do you go to the movies so much, Tom? I go to the movies because I like adventure. Adventure is something I don't have much of at work, so I go to the movies.
Okay, so this highlights the lack of satisfaction in life, isn't it? So that lack of adventure is also highlighted as thematic concerns, and addiction to the movies is with the theme of escapism, because it causes somewhat different condition, isn't it? Than just moving to the movies, there is a complete difference.
Movies. Amanda, but, Tom, you go to the movies entirely too much. Tom, I like a lot of adventure. Amanda looks baffled, then hurt as the familiar inquisition resumes. He becomes hard and impatient again. Amanda slips back into her querulous attitude towards him. Image on screen, sailing vessel with Jolly Roger. Amanda, most young men find adventure in their careers. Tom, then most young men are not employed in a warehouse. Amanda, the world is full of young men employed in warehouses and offices and factories. Tom, do all of them find adventure in their careers? Amanda, they do, or they do without it. Not everybody has a craze for adventure. Tom, man is by instinct a lover, a hunter, a fighter, and none of those instincts are given much play at the warehouse. Amanda, man is by instinct. Don't quote instinct to me. Instinct is something that people have got away from. It belongs to animals. Christian adults don't want it. Tom, what do Christian adults want, then, mother? Amanda, superior things. Things of the mind and the spirit. Only animals have to satisfy instincts. Surely your aims are somewhat higher than theirs. Then monkeys, pigs. Tom, I reckon they're not. Amanda, you're joking. However.
Okay, so here the animal imagery of monkeys highlights the desires and the animalism, isn't it? Okay. The religious moralization are also highlighted here as a theme in the previous lines. What do Christian adults want, and so on and so forth. Then love, romance, sexuality, all these themes, challenges are the basic themes that are highlighted through this extract, isn't it? Okay. And more than that, the dissatisfaction, unhappiness of life are also highlighted.
However, that isn't what I wanted to discuss. Tom rising. I haven't much time. Amanda pushing his shoulders. Sit down. Tom, you want me to punch in red at the warehouse, mother? Amanda, you have 5 minutes. I want to talk about Laura. Legend, plans and provisions. Tom, all right. What about Laura? Amanda, we have to be making some plans and provisions for her. Years, and nothing has happened. She just drifts along doing nothing. It frightens me terribly how she just drifts along. Tom, I guess she's the type that people call homegirls. Amanda, there's no such type, and if there is, it's a pity. That is unless the home is hers, with a husband. Tom, what?
Now see here, she's older than you 2 years and nothing has happened. She's just drifts along. Drifts alone means just living alone without any hope or change, isn't it? There's no such type, and if there is, it's pity. That is, unless the home is hers and with a husband, right? So it's an stereotypical idea that highlights the theme of marriage and female independence. Female dependence, isn't it? So in that time period, women were completely dependent on men, and it's okay to be domesticated according to Amanda, but the thing is, she should have a husband, isn't it? Tom, what? Okay.
Tom, what? Amanda, oh, I can see the handwriting on the wall as plain as I see the nose in front of my face. It's terrifying. More and more you remind me of your father. He was out all hours without explanation. Then left. Goodbye. And me with the bag to hold. I saw that letter you got from the merchant marine.
And see, the bag to hold is a symbol, right? So it symbolizes the duties, responsibilities, burdens, and everything. Then the letter from merchant marine highlights, it's the name of an organization, highlights the Tom's aims and goals in his life, isn't it? So what he aims is highlighted through that letter, and says that Amanda is also aware about that. Still, the circumstances does not fit for or doesn't suit for Tom, isn't it? That's why he is still in home. Life conditions, the only solution for Tom to achieve those are marrying someone to Laura, isn't it?
Marine. I know what you're dreaming of. I'm not standing here blindfolded. Very well, then. Then, do it. But not till there's somebody to take your place. Tom, what do you mean? Amanda, I mean that as soon as Laura has got somebody to take care of her, married, a home of her own, independent, why, then you'll be free to go wherever you please, on land, on sea, whichever way the wind blows you. But until that time you've got to look out for your sister. I don't say me because I'm old and don't matter, I say for your sister because she's young and dependent. I put her in business college, a dismal failure. Frightened her so it made her sick at the stomach. I took her over to the Young People's League at the church. Another fiasco. She spoke to nobody, nobody spoke to her. Now all she does is fool with those pieces of glass and play those worn-out records. What kind of a life is that for a girl to lead? Tom, what can I do about it? Amanda, overcome selfishness. Self is all that you ever think of. Tom springs up and crosses to got his coat. It is ugly and bulky. He pulls on a cap with earmuffs. Where is your muffler? Put your wool muffler on. He snatches it angrily from the closet and tosses it around his neck and pulls both ends tight. Tom, I haven't said what I had in mind to ask you. Tom, I'm too late to Amanda catching his arm, very importunately. Then shyly, down at the warehouse, aren't there some nice young men? Tom, no. Amanda, there must be some. Tom, mother gesture. Amanda, find out one that's clean living, doesn't drink and...
Now see the conditions, right? Clean living. Don't drink. The two major conditions that she wants to fulfill. Isn't it? So clean living means a very good person, and don't drink. Not a drunkard.
And, ask him out for sister. Tom, what? Amanda, for sister. To meet. Get acquainted. Tom stamping to door. Oh, my go OSH. Amanda, will you? He opens door. Imploringly. Will you? He starts down. Will you? Will you, dear? Tom calling back, yes. Amanda closes the door hesitantly and with a troubled but faintly hopeful expression. Screen image, Glamour magazine cover. Spot Amanda at phone. Amanda, Ella Cartwright? This is Amanda Wingfield. How are you, honey? How is that kidney condition? Count 5 horrors. Count 5. You're a Christian martyr. Yes, honey, that's what you are. A Christian martyr. Well, I just now happened to notice in my little red book that your subscription to the companion has just run out. I knew that you wouldn't want to miss out on the wonderful serial starting in this issue. It's by Bessie May Hopper, the first thing she's written since Honeymoon for Three. Wasn't that a strange and interesting story? Well, this one is even lovelier, I believe. It has a sophisticated, society background. It's all about the horsey set on Long Island. Fade out legend on screen.
Okay, so that is the end of scene 4. So Laura's character, Amanda's character, Tom's character are also highlighted. The struggle between both Tom and Amanda is very well described in this scene, isn't it? And this influence of arguments and everything to Laura is also highlighted when she stepped out of fire escape, and the readership made to feel that there is no alternative than getting Laura married, isn't it? The empowerment and socialized failed, and then the left option is finding a suitable husband for her. So that is the end of scene 4. Then we will stop from here and continue with the next 2 scenes with another video. Thank you.